the Italian Football Podcast.
Next question comes from Sandro Di Girolamo again. He says, another question for the pod. I read with interest that Vlahovic feels it's easier to play with Serbia than with Juve because he feels more comfortable playing with another striker alongside, such as Mitrovic, who's physically capable of holding up the ball and strong in the air, so he doesn't have to cover the pitch as much. Do you guys feel Juve should go all out to get Lorenzo Luca as a seconda punta to enhance Dusan's characteristics as a striker? Would Motta contemplate such a change in his system? I do feel that Juve always lack numbers when attacking, especially on the break or their build-up play. Grazie.
Yeah, I saw these comments, and
I just want to say, when it comes to that, that's not what he said. Like, I've seen Serbian media as well kind of say, well, that's not entirely what he said. That there's like, I saw a Serbian football scouts say these comments have been taken out of context. During the Euros, he was tasked with defending the wings in a 5-4-1 setup within a dysfunctional attacking setup and never got to see the goal. He's comparing it to that. In reality, he put in a fantastic shift, winning 8 duels, making 5 recoveries and leading the press. I've seen people saying stuff like that. And Vlahovic himself, like the comment in question, if I'm not mistaken, was, he says, Coach Stojkovic doesn't give me many defensive tasks, and in this way I'm more lucid. If I run a lot, then I don't arrive fresh in front of goal. I think it's more. I'm just going to be a little bit, let's remember that. Let's just remember that the context of the quotes that they were made. That's all.
I think what he said is bollocks, and I think that the way it's been framed, even if he didn't say that, as you've well explained well there, is bollocks as well. In 2024, he scored 0 goals for Serbia. In 2024, he scored in 2 games for Serbia in the last 2 years. So the idea that he's more lucid in front of goal and that he's better for Serbia is a load of nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. I've seen him playing games together with Mitrovic, these twin towers, and it's been awful. It's been horrendous, which has led to, at times, either one or the other player, Mitrovic often being chosen ahead of him. It's I don't think he's done particularly well for Serbia at all. To be honest, not in recent times, not in terms of being a goal scorer. So the idea that playing in a front two helps him be more lucid in front of goal or whatever, I think it's nonsense. So no, I think it's all of that is a load of rubbish.
Louder rubbish.
Load of rubbish.
Woke nonsense. I love when Carlo goes full on Martin Samuel.
Load of rubbish.
Loud of rubbish. Look, I do tend to agree with you because Vlahovic, like, you can't. It's not a system issue; it's a qualitative issue. People have. It's either Stojkovic, Motta, it's Allegri, or it's Vlahovic. I mean, it's everyone. It can't be everyone under the sun except for Vlahovic, can it? No. Like, sure, it's possible, but it's not like. I agree with you on that. I mean, he's stagnated. And I wonder if he, as we've discussed on this pod, if he really was that player that we saw under Italiano at Fiorentina. What was that more of a circumstance because he plays, because of the way that Italiano plays and the number of chances his teams create. But then in converse, and he's a great finisher if he gets a lot of balls to work with and has space to attack. But again, as a number 9 in a top club, you need to know how to play without possession. And you need to know how to play without your ball with your back against the goal. It was
actually Beppe Iachini with his baseball cap the first season. And then the second season was Italiano. It might have been partly also down to... like you said, when you're playing for a smaller team, you're not going to be dominating possession as much. But having said that, though, Juventus didn't dominate possession under Allegri, so that kind of negates that point. But it's easier at a bigger team in terms of having more spaces. not being so closely marked. Maybe that helped. Then he started to get found out a little bit as well. Could be possibly that. Could be also possibly Allegri is not very good at developing younger players, especially attacking players. I think that certainly didn't help him either. But it's also, maybe he was just not, he was overrated in terms of his all-round qualities and all-round game. Whatever it is, probably a bit of everything. He's not, he hasn't improved. But the idea that it's some kind of, it's down to the fact that he's not playing with a strike partner and all this. So, well, I'm sorry. It's just the numbers show that hasn't scored in 2024 for Serbia, and he scored in 2 games in the last 2 years, and those are against Lithuania and Montenegro. So that really says it all.
No, it really, really does. It really, really, really does, and I think you're right about that. But it really is a little bit. It's last chance saloon, isn't it, for him at this level? Because I'm looking around, and who's gonna what top club is gonna pay that kind of money to sign him? At this point, I can't think of many. It's a huge risk.
No, that's what I've been saying. That's why Juventus are in a difficult position, because his contract runs out in 2026. And, he's the highest paid player in Serie A, and you can't justify paying him that amount of money, not with the new policy Juventus have of trying to reduce costs as well. So how can you give him a renewal? Vlahovic, is he going to accept a renewal on reduced terms? Probably not. And then, well, if they decide to sell him instead of giving him a new contract, well, who the hell is going to pay the kind of money that the Juventus want and need to get, like even 50, 60 million? Which club is going to pay 50, 60 million? I wouldn't. Only a handful of clubs can afford 50 to 60 million, and I don't think he's probably good enough for those big clubs. So who's going to pay that kind of money? So I think Juventus are in a difficult position. They're facing another Dybala Chiesa situation. They are.
They really are, and also Chiesa, in the sense that what are they going to do
from a financial point of view? I'm talking about
financial point.
Like those two players were, aging and not aging, but in decline, like physically, and had those issues, which Vlahovic doesn't have. But
Nicolo Schira reported the other day that a meeting between Juve and Vlahovic's agent is expected in December. And the Juve's intention is to extend, but spread his salary over a few years.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, then he'll be sold in the summer. But I wonder who's going to buy. Who's buying? Who knows if Simone Inzaghi goes to Arsenal, plays a 3-5-2, and then brings him in and turns him into his Ciro Immobile. Who knows? But something like that will happen.
Hopefully, some dumb Premier League club will pay the money.
Some dumb Premier League club. But
even they don't spend the money like they're used to, because it's stupid PSR stopping Italian clubs being able to rip them off now. They can't even rip some stupid Premier League club.
God, Jesus Christ. But no, it's definitely interesting to see what happens there. But I do think I kind of expect that unless he starts scoring properly between now and February, I think by then it'll be too late. I think, or after February, I think Juve will be like, fuck it, we're never mind. We're just gonna, enough. Like he can't complain about not having been given chances. I'll tell you that much. But we'll have to wait and see.